Just gonna go off and see the bees again now after the storm. It's amazing how wonderful the weather has turned out, but I have to really go and check now if any roofs have been blown off, or I also want to put some newspapers under the roofs to for insulation. I'll explain more about that later. I'll see you in a sec, alright? So I'm going to show you now how to put some insulation on top of the crown board that goes under the roof. I'm going to do that because in mid-February usually the queen starts laying like mad again, so you want to really, keep that heat in from the worker bees. At least it means that your worker bees wouldn't have to work as hard, to keep the heat going like. So that's the crown board. Now make sure you don't open this crown board unless obviously that the hive might feel a bit light and you might want to feed some honey or something like that, but otherwise do not open the crown board because you're only going to stress your bees and that's not going to do them any good. April is soon enough to be opening your hives. I'm just going to put the newspapers on to insulate the whole thing like such, and then I just stick the roof back on. So you can tell that there's no robbing going on here because when the bees are just flying off, they're coming out of the hive very fast and they're coming back a little bit heavier. These are water carriers and they've just gotten some water and they're bringing it back to the hive to dissolve some of the honey that is crystallized. Now if it was the other way around, if the hive was being robbed, what would happen is bees coming out of the hive would be a bit heavier, so they would kind of dip down a bit because they've just stolen a bit of honey. So this is good news anyway. This hive isn't being robbed at all and is fairly strong as well, as you can see. Hey guys, so I'm here now with one of my colonies, which is fortunately has starved to death. There was plenty of food there, but we had a bit of a bad winter there for about 4 weeks, and basically the cluster was kind of trapped in one area and couldn't move to an area where there was food. I'll show you now what I mean with this. The top box here and the bottom box, there was hardly any food left in the bottom box, but they didn't manage to go up to the top box to actually access the food. We'll just take off the box. I'll show you. So you can see there's the cluster. It's a fairly big cluster, but it just starved to death and then froze. Now don't worry about these kind of things. These things kind of tend to happen once in a while, and it's quite normal for a beekeeper to lose maybe 20% of their hives. So this is why it's a good idea to have at least 4 hives going, But you will see a lot of this during your beekeeping time, so don't worry if this happens. It happens to all of us, And see that bee there now just going in there, had actually pollen on its legs. And this is at the 7th of February. There it is again. That's great news, because that's what they need for feeding the young larvae, the young brood. This is great news. So one more hive loss. This time it's basically complete destruction by rats. They got in underneath. I'll just show you what I mean with that. Just take off the roof. So you can see here now, they made themselves a lovely little nest in here. They chewed right through that frame there. So there was not much I could actually do about this because, rats, they have very good sharp teeth and they can just chew through this kind of wood, no problem. The best thing I could have done actually was put this on a hive stand, maybe a bit higher up. That would have maybe helped this situation, What's his name again?
Pete.
Hey Pete.
He's probably been called loads of different things.
Pete, little Pete, yeah.
Because when I come out and call Tansy, he comes.
I hope you enjoyed this clip, and as always, if you want to see any more clips on beekeeping or natural gardening, then you can click one of these links. Yeah, be good. Cheers.